Congratulations, all of OneSelf podcast. It's been 1 year. Happy birthday.
Congratulations to my mom for starting this by scratch.
Just want to say congrats and a happy anniversary for your podcast. It should be an amazing feeling to accomplish something and stay so committed. And it's been great to be entertained by this podcast because you have such entertaining guests and such insightful topics, and you've always stayed consistent with your podcast, and you should feel very happy and very proud for that. And I'm very proud of you for doing that. Can't wait for more.
May 2021 is when I launched the Lift OneSelf podcast. And here we are a year later. Yeah, it's a milestone. It's a celebration. As my friend Clarissa would say, I committed and I conquered a year. I'm so proud of myself and the energy and the attention I've put into this podcast. It takes a lot, It's a lot. And I had no idea how to run a podcast, what software, what to do, the hosting, all this editing, all this stuff that has to go into it. There's a lot of work in podcasting. And little did I know that May was Mental Health Awareness. And if you hear my first episode, my intention was to remove the stigma surrounding mental health and to enter into dialogue in conversations and connections. So as the universe is so benevolent and is always in its divine planning, I listened to the call and I just leaped. I want to thank you, the listeners, for extending your precious time and attention towards this podcast. Your messages, your reflections, your ahas, your suggestions, they're all the fuel that encouraged me to continue on with this podcast. A month after launching this podcast, I completely ruptured my Achilles. I was bedridden. I was not allowed to move for a good 10 days because they wanted to allow the ligament to reattach to itself. Or not the ligament, but the tendon. And let me tell you, my mind was like, okay, enough of this podcast. Don't even bother. You have rehabilitation. And there was a little bit of a poor me wanting to go in because, when you lose complete mobility, your mental health, it goes through some storms. And I was very thankful for the tools that I've cultivated within myself. Because here we are a year later and I'm still doing the podcast. And I am walking and sometimes running. And by the way, I did not have surgery. No, the body healed itself. It overcompensated a little bit because my tendon is very thick now. I think the body was like, we're not going through that again. Yet it has regenerated. The body is fascinating, I tell you. So yeah, listeners, thank you. Thank you for your time and attention. And to the guests, my total gratitude and appreciation for accepting to be on this podcast and being a part of this year's celebration. I reached out to them and asked them to send some reflections and some comments of what they would like to share as a celebration. So take a listen.
Congratulations on 1 year of your Lift OneSelf podcast. Keep up the amazing work.
Hey, Nat. This is Mikey, aka Michael Acevero. I just wanted to say congratulations on 1 year of Lift OneSelf podcasting. I remember day one when you were first starting out, and it's amazing that you've made this monumental and wonderful milestone and achievement. So congratulations on all your hard work. It was a pleasure and an honor of being one of the people that you spoke to on your podcast. It's a reminder for me, myself, and for other people to take a step back, make sure to look around and appreciate the things around us. Remember to breathe and remember to be good to ourselves. So with that said, again, 1,000 congratulations. And I hope to be around to see year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7.
Hello. Congratulations. That is so amazing. You should be so proud of yourself.
I can't believe it's been 1 year already for Lift OneSelf. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. And I'm also very thankful to be a part of this project. With so much love, enjoy the success. Have a great day.
Wow, I am absolutely in awe. I am so honored to be a part of this 1 year tribute for the Lift OneSelf podcast. I mean, Nat, you did it. I still remember our interview last October, 2021. And Natalie, you had so lovingly nudged me to do a topic that, I had not shared with anyone before outside of my immediate family and friends. And that was around my son being born with a very rare heart condition. And I have to say, I love you. I really appreciate you encouraging me to do it. It was such a healing experience for me. It really had me stretch, my edges in terms of sharing up more of me and really, leaning into vulnerability. As I go deeper into my own work and look to build deeper connections with women, especially moms. And I'm hoping that if my story, if it touched one person, if it let them know they're not alone, I know I'm doing what I'm purposed to do. So, girl, I just want to say congratulations. We are so fortunate to have you doing this work for the planet, for the world, and we honor you, and I wish you so many more years ahead. Congratulations on this foundational 1 year anniversary. Love ya.
Good evening, Auntie. Happy anniversary to the Lift OneSelf podcast. I recently got to go back and listen to the interview that I did with you about a year ago now. Year and a half. It's crazy that it's been that long. But I got to listen back to our conversation on racism, black on black racism, and just topics of race in general. And it made me really proud to listen to myself speak about it in the way that I did. And it makes me even more proud now that I've moved out from home and I've still tried to keep up with those same ideals that I had. Because it's easy when you're at home with your parents and you have them to correct you with right and wrong, or if you step out of line, they're there to tell you like you're not thinking the right way. But I'm proud of myself for having left home and being able to listen back to that conversation I had with you and be able to say that I haven't, or at least in my opinion, I haven't changed my views. Whether that's for the right or for the wrong is up for debate, but it makes me proud that younger me, or the me that talked to you, would still be able to look at me and say, you know what, you didn't compromise your values or your views on racism and conversations surrounding race. It was just, like, overall, it was just nice to listen to myself speak in such a self-aware way. I think I can say that. It was nice to listen to because sometimes I personally struggle with whether or not I'm speaking in a self-aware way. Sometimes I try to force myself to say things that I think sound good, but aren't always what I believe. And I can confidently say, listening back on it, that I was saying I was saying things that were honest and true to how I feel about issues as a person, and that hasn't changed, that I'm still being honest with myself and I'm still being self-aware. So once again, happy anniversary to the Lift OneSelf podcast, and thank you for putting out the positive messages and conversations, stories that you do. It really helps people and it really helps me. So thank you and have a good night.
Congratulations to the Lift OneSelf podcast on its first anniversary. I am so honored to be part of your first successful year, and I celebrate the work you're bringing into the world. It's so important. Since being a guest on your podcast, I've realized the importance of being true to myself and the importance of discernment. What I shared on your podcast was very sensitive, and while I was comfortable speaking my truth, I realized for some, my truth may have been difficult to hear in that format. I appreciate the opportunity for deeper self-awareness and reflection, and the connections as a result of speaking my truth have been so healing. Congratulations again on an uplifting year of content, and much love and light to all.
Congratulations, Natalie, on the 1-year anniversary of the Live OneSelf podcast. I am very grateful that you chose me to be one of your guests in this first year. It was a wonderful experience for me to be able to share with you some of the ideas and concepts that helped me improve on a day-to-day basis. You certainly made me feel welcome and made it very easy to open up and share with your audience. Although our conversation was rich in many aspects, there was one particular point of discussion that left me thinking for days afterwards. You asked me about my travels. Yes, I have been lucky enough to travel more than the average person, probably. And yes, I am cognizant that traveling has been a key contributor to my growth. Yet, I never thought of traveling as a potential catalyst and or a necessary element for growth. It dawned on me that maybe if more people had the opportunity to meet more humans in different parts of the world, if more people could see more of what matters under different circumstances, if more people could experience the human condition in its many geographical manifestations, then maybe we could see and feel that we are not that different at all. That we want the same things. That we want to be heard, to be seen, and to be loved. Maybe connection through travel is the solution to a lot of our problems and maladies. Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention through our exchange. I am grateful for you and the work you are doing. I look forward to see your next season and the connections that inevitably will form as a result of your work. Thank you. All the best.
I'd like to say thank you, Nat, for the Live OneSelf podcast. Thank you for opening the doors for those of us who need an outlet or feel like we're alone. And I can honestly say that the Live OneSelf has opened my eyes to see that a lot of things that we go through, we think we're alone and we're really not. And a lot of the stuff that we're going through are relatable, no matter what your status is in life. I really and truly appreciate what you're doing, and I think that you've done great so far, and I can definitely see things taking off from here. 1 year down and many, many more years to go.
I absolutely loved sharing my heart in the Lift OneSelf podcast. It's so important to look at our life difficulties as mud that is absolutely essential for the lotus to grow. I do believe a great life strategy is to look at each quote-unquote problem in our life as an opportunity to evolve further, love deeper, and live happier. This is Dr. Araya, wrapping you in love.
Top of the morning, my sister Nat. This is your brother Tyrone, checking in from Ottawa. Just wanted to say, thank you very much for providing a safe space, in the Live OneSelf podcast for our people, and particularly brothers who have a hard time expressing themselves, right, without being judged. I want to thank you for giving us the chance to speak, about issues in our community. Not just issues that affects us as an individual, but issues that affects our community without being judged. Thank you for providing that safe space where brothers can come and just talk, express some of the burdens that we face out here as men without being judged. So, thank you for the 1 year. I thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of your guests that you had on the platform. I thoroughly enjoyed how you gave each and every one of us a chance to express ourselves, not just that one voice, but that inner voice that we've been hiding for so many years. So thank you once again, Nat, and looking forward to not just another year, but years of, future guests. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on and express myself. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love how you took us to places where I never thought was in myself. So thank you once again, and nothing but continued success. Once again, it's your brother Tyrone.
It's been 1 year. 1 year already? Damn. Lift Oneself, that podcast, the episode that I was on was an amazing experience. The questions were just very thought-provoking and deep. It allowed me to reflect on my own life and all the lives around me. I just want to say thank you for having me on as a guest, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share my story and share my insights on life and what I've kind of amassed throughout my years on this planet. So thank you again. Lift Oneself podcast, 1 year anniversary. Big up yourself.
Hi, my name is Goli Emam. I'm a family therapist, and I had the privilege and honor of being featured on Nat's podcast, Lift Oneself, episode 30, called Feel to Relax. And I just love the conversation that we were able to have around the impact of COVID-19, the ability to go inward and really do an introspection. And the conversation that unfolded from that went really deep. And I really appreciate deep conversations about healing, about what it takes to heal, about being able to look at all of our shadowy parts and the parts that we'd rather not acknowledge and avoid. And then the conversation mostly around the unseen ways that we harm ourselves, the self-harm that is unseen, that's hidden. The stigma around mental health ties into that. As we celebrate her 1 year anniversary in May of 2022, which is also Mental Health Awareness Month, and how Nat has been able to bring forth the stigmas and also help us level the playing field around our shared humanity and make the conversations around mental health accessible, because we can't heal anything unless we're able to shine the light of our awareness on it. And I'm just so grateful for having had this experience, this deep conversation. If you haven't tuned in yet, I encourage you to do so. Myself having a re-listen has been a beautiful reminder of conversations in community. And Nat has done an incredible job of gathering some of the people I am most inspired by in community on the podcast, just to encourage and invite conversations that speak to our soul. It speaks to the mind, body, spirit interconnection, and as well as practical tips. And she's so approachable that it helped me express some of my stories as well, because healers also go through their own healing. And it was just a beautiful conversation around consciousness, around being conscious, what it takes, and how we can embrace all of ourselves, including our flaws, the things that our inner critic likes to bash, and how to be
just at peace with ourselves. I'm so grateful. Thank you for tuning in, and huge congrats to Nat on a 1-year incredible podcast that she has created and brought all of us together on. Thank you. Much love.
There you have it. I hope you enjoyed those comments and reflections, and that you are celebrating with us, because you are a part of this celebration. So thank you. Thank you for allowing this 1-year anniversary, this milestone. I want to leave you with this. You think you have time. Ask yourself what you're filling the space of time with. I'll say that again. What are you filling the space of time with? Be intentional. This life is limited. It's only it goes by so fast. You have no idea. And life can change in a blink of an eye. I've known that in so many instances in this journey so far. And I know it'll repeat again. Be more intentional. Be more present with the people that really matter in your life. And when you say your goodbyes, be there in your goodbyes. Because you actually don't know if that's the last time you will be saying goodbye to someone. Yeah, that's the thing about life. It's impermanent. It changes. And then we go through a whole bunch of suffering because we want it to stay the same, and it just doesn't. I leave you with, be more intentional with your life. Make the choices out of yourself. Not the indoctrinations and the they said and my parents said and the world said. Actually make the choices out of you. Ask yourself what will light you up. What will bring more joy in your world? What will have you feel fulfilled? Again, thank you. Thank you for offering your time, your attention. Please subscribe to our podcast and share it out to friends. Let's build a community and create some dialogue, some conversations that have some depth and meaning, and that we can create these healing circles and remove the stigmas around mental health and have a space of accepting our humanity. Yeah. So until next time, remember to be kind with yourself. You matter.